You think you are still in love with them because your chest aches every time your phone lights up on the desk. You tell your friends that you cannot let go, that the connection was too deep, and that your soul is still mourning the loss of a great romance. But let us stop lying to ourselves for a second. You are not trapped in a tragic love story, you are just trapped in a loop of Pavlovian conditioning. You do not miss their voice, their laugh, or the way they held your hand. What you actually miss is the cheap hit of dopamine that used to flash across your screen at 11 p.m. We have romanticized what is essentially just a broken habit, translating a glitch in our daily routine into a profound, existential heartbreak. The truth is much colder, much more mechanical, and entirely unromantic. Your heart is not bleeding for them anymore. Your thumb is just bored, and your brain is desperately looking for its favorite old trigger. Think about the exact choreography of your loneliness. It always happens during the quiet gaps in the day, those small fractures of time when the world slows down and you are left alone with your own mind. You are waiting for the elevator, standing in line for a morning coffee, or sitting at a red light. Without a single conscious thought, your hand reaches into your pocket. Your fingers wrap around the cold glass and metal of your device. You lift it up, the screen wakes up, and your thumb automatically begins its familiar dance. It sweeps downward, pulling down the notification shade, clearing the blank space, looking for a ghost. There is absolutely nothing there. The screen is a barren wasteland of banking alerts, spam emails, and app updates you do not care about. Yet, you do not lock the phone. You stare at it for 5 seconds too long, hoping against all logic that a specific name will magically materialize out of the pixels. When it does not appear, a familiar heaviness settles into your stomach. You mistake this heaviness for grief. You tell yourself that the pain proves the love was real. But if you look closer, you will see it is just the frustration of a broken circuit. For months, or maybe even years, that phone screen was the primary delivery system for your validation. Every time their name popped up, your brain released a tiny, pleasant chemical reward. You did this thousands of times. You trained your nervous system to associate that specific glowing rectangle with safety, excitement, and companionship. Now, the supply has been cut off completely, but the physical machinery of the habit is still perfectly intact. Your muscle memory does not care about the breakup. Your thumb does not know that you two had a screaming match on a Tuesday night and agreed to never speak again. The fingers just keep executing the program they were taught to run. We like to believe our minds are in control, but our bodies are incredibly stubborn creatures of repetition. When you break up with someone, you can delete their photos, throw away their old t-shirts, and block their number on every platform. You can do all the mental work of moving on, but you cannot easily erase the physical tracks burned into your motor cortex. Your hand remembers the exact weight of the phone when a long paragraph was arriving. Your eyes still instinctively dart to the exact top left corner of the display where their chat bubble used to live. It is an involuntary reflex, no different from reaching for a light switch in a house you moved out of 3 years ago. You flip the switch, the room stays dark, and for a split second, you feel confused. You do not miss the old house. You just forgot that the wiring has changed. This is the great illusion of the modern breakup. We are not haunted by people. We are haunted by the interfaces we used to love them through. We sit in bed at night, scrolling backward through old message archives, reread conversations from 2 summers ago, and analyze the exact timing of timestamps. We tell ourselves we are doing this to find closure or to understand where things went wrong. In reality, we are just trying to force the machine to give us that old feeling one more time. We are scratching at a scab because the itch is unbearable, not because we want the wound to open back up. If they were to suddenly text you right now, the magic would vanish instantly. The reality of them, their flaws, the incompatibility, the exhausting arguments, would rush back into the room. You would remember exactly why it ended. But as long as the screen remains blank, you can keep worshipping the beautiful, clean fantasy of what used to be. It takes a lot of courage to admit that your suffering is this mundane. It feels much better to believe you are carrying a profound, poetic sorrow than to admit you are just experiencing the digital equivalent of phantom limb syndrome. Amputees often feel an itch in fingers that are no longer there because the brain is still sending signals to a hand that has been gone for months. That is exactly what you are doing every time you pull down that notification bar. You are trying to scratch a phantom text. You are demanding that a piece of plastic give you back your sense of worth. The phone has become a mirror of your own emptiness, and every time you check it and find nothing, you are simply confirming your own isolation. You are addicted to the anticipation of the notification, not the person behind it. The name on the screen was just the delivery vehicle. The drug was the attention. Eventually, the realization hits you, and it hits you with the cold weight of an iron bar. You are sitting in your room, the phone lights up with a random notification from a food delivery app, and your heart jumps. In that tiny, pathetic microsecond, you realize how small you have become. You see the sheer absurdity of your own biology. You are letting a piece of glass dictate your emotional state on a random Thursday afternoon. You look at your hand, still poised in that familiar, claw-like grip, ready to swipe, ready to search, ready to beg for a sign. And you finally understand the truth. They moved on a long time ago. They are not looking at their screen wondering about your thumb. They are living their life, while you are sitting in the dark, performing a meaningless ritual for an audience of one. The ghost is not in the room. The ghost is in your hands. The next time your phone glows in the dark, you will feel that familiar, urgent pull in your muscles. Your arm will want to lift. Your thumb will want to slide across the glass. But this time, you will stop. You will look at your own hand and recognize it for what it truly is, just a machine running an old, outdated piece of code. You will realize that the empty space on your lock screen is not a tragedy. It is just empty space. And for the first time in months, you will take a deep breath, turn the device face down onto the hard wood of the table, and let the screen go completely dark. Your heart stopped bleeding months ago. Your thumb just hasn't processed the memo.